Am I the a-hole for refusing to have a fully child-free wedding? So I recently proposed to my long-term girlfriend, and we are planning for a wedding in summer next year. Everything is still very early stages. My fiancé has expressed that she wants a child-free wedding, which I am all down for, but I want to make one expectation. My son, 15 male. I had him from a previous relationship and we have evenly split custody of him. Until now, my fiancé has gotten along great with him. We've had days out as a family. She's gone to see his games. He plays ice hockey. And she's even taken him out on fun days, just the two of them. I brought up that I wanted to make an exception to the no kids rule for my son. She shot the idea down straight away and said that she didn't want anyone under 16 there, as she doesn't want to feel like she or anyone else has to babysit on her special day. I told her that no one would have to babysit him. He's 15. And she knows he's well-behaved and a generally quiet kid. She then changed her reasoning and asked why I wanted my old family and life on the day I was supposed to making a commitment to her and our new family. I told her, well, I will be making a commitment to her. My son will still very much be my son and my family. She then equated it to wanting my ex at our wedding, which I did not and never asked. I told her that I don't care about the aesthetics of the wedding and that she can pick everything else, the food, the aesthetic, the music, the dress, but all I want is my family at the wedding, my parents, my sisters, and my son. That is my only ultimatum when it comes to our wedding. She started calling me controlling by giving me an ultimatum and said I had initially agreed to a child-free wedding and now am gaslighting her. I said we can have a mainly child-free wedding, but with this one exception, an expectation that guests can't even complain about being unfair since the only child is the son of the groom. She called me a dick and is now not talking to me. I really think this is a reasonable want, but maybe I'm not seeing something. Am I the a-hole for leaving my son's wedding early? My son, Alan, 26 male, has just recently gotten married to Helen, 25 female. I love them both very much. It's relevant to mention that I really dislike parties and large gatherings. I'm not sociable at all, and I really just dislike them. So it was kind of a downer when I heard that Alan and Helen were going to have a wedding with around 150 people. I told Alan ahead of time that I would probably leave early and that me and the rest of our family would take to cars so that they could stay if they wanted to. He looked like he didn't mind at the time. So at the wedding itself, after the ceremony, I basically told him that I was glad and it looked great, but I was going to go home. He asked if I was going to at least stay for cake or for food, but the food didn't look all that appetizing to me, so I told him I was just going to leave. He said, all right, whatever, just go, and I went back to my table to get my stuff. I told my wife and she said she didn't feel comfortable driving back alone. The venue was very far from us and the roads there were not great. I said in that case she should come with me, and after some hemming and hawing she agreed. So we left. Then 2 days later, Alan's new wife bombarded me and my wife with messages that she was disgusted with us, saying horrible things about us and insulting us as people and as parents. Really just sickening. I told her off and asked why she thought it was okay to talk to her in-laws like that, and she said that us leaving ruined the wedding for Alan and that he was very upset for the rest of the night. She continued to berate us. I politely told her to leave us alone and called Alan, mainly to inform him that his wife had a temper that he should know about. When we talked about it, he basically started berating me too and said things like, you always do this and just leave me alone, before hanging up. I feel like I'm justified since I told him ahead of time that I wasn't going to stay. Edit, since so many people care about the details. Yes, there was a mother-son dance planned. Yes, he included me in the count for the food costs. Yes, I love him. No, this does not mean that I do not care about him. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my sister at my wedding since she is in a wheelchair and will take up all of the spotlight? My sister, 26, has been on and off out of the hospital. I am going to call my sister Anna. Anna got cancer when she was 15 and was able to beat it. Ever since she has been having growths, and anytime one appears, we are worried about the cancer coming back. My issue is that she always makes these announcements that she needs to go to the doctors again at the worst times. At the beginning, I thought it was just bad timing, but it has happened so many times when I hit a milestone. My graduations, my birthdays, my engagement party. Anytime she makes an announcement she needs to go back to the hospital, my whole family would flock to her. I have had my birthday dinner turn into my relatives flocking to her for the whole night. I had a dinner party to announce my wedding date for my relatives. It was going so great and it was a fun time until Anna told Mom she needs to go back to the hospital. Soon everyone forgot about the reason for the dinner party and it was quiet. My aunt even stepped in to do a pray for Anna. Another event was taken over. I went low contact with her after that. She was invited to the wedding and it is in 2 weeks. I learned today she is in a on and off in a wheelchair from my mom, Anna. She will need to take it just in case for the wedding. I asked if the rest of the family was informed and she told me no. I told both of them they need to inform them. They told me they don't want to worry them and won't do that. I had enough and told them you need to tell before my wedding. Again a no. I then informed them Anna is not invited. This started a huge argument about how I'm a dick, and my point is that I am sick of her stealing the spotlight. That what will happen if she rolls in with a wheelchair. Edit, I'm going to do a mass blast to all my relatives, saying she is in a wheelchair and unsure if she will be able to make it to my wedding. Keep my sister in their thoughts and prayers. Am I the a-hole for suggesting to my fiancé that my family gets their own room at our wedding? I 25 male am recently engaged to my lovely fiancé 25 female. We have been together for 4 years. We have started general wedding planning. Her family is much bigger than mine and she wants more of a party type wedding with lots of music and dancing. My family is all a bit older than her. She is the oldest sibling while I am the youngest, and they aren't into big, loud weddings. They would prefer something quiet and more focused on socializing, and I would too. My fiancé said we could do an extended cocktail hour or start the reception later so there would be more time for quiet socializing, or even start the whole wedding earlier in the day so it wouldn't go as late. She also suggested that we could take our wedding photos before the ceremony so that we wouldn't have to miss cocktail hour to do them. I suggested that instead, we find a venue with 2 separate rooms. That way her family could have a louder party in one, and mine could have a quiet reception in the other. It would be in the same venue so each side could still go over to the other to socialize. My fiancé said she actually really hates that idea. She said she feels like that defeats the purpose of a wedding, which is supposed to symbolize the union of 2 people and their families. She also said she doesn't want to do that because she worries I'll spend the entire reception with my family and that she have to choose between spending the night with me but ignoring her family, or being with her family, but us basically being separate at our wedding. She also said she feels like the wedding we're planning is becoming less and less ours and more mine. She said this because she originally wanted a child-free, non-religious wedding but compromised on a church ceremony with children allowed because that is what I want. Am I the a-hole for giving my wedding guests a dress code? I 29 female am getting married to my partner 30 male and we have planned a fantasy, Renaissance-themed wedding. We are massive fandom nerds, books, video games, movies, comics, etc. and actually met at a Renlair and wanted that to be part of our wedding. We discussed it with our close friends and everyone thought it was a great idea. So we sent out the invitations plus an attached letter that explained why we wanted to have a themed wedding and examples of the type of things we wanted people to wear. Just Google Renlair if you want to see. We included photos, descriptions, budget categories that went from how to DIY a costume using old, thrifted clothes to just straight out buying something online. We also asked people to reach out if they had any worries so we could work something out. I have received a few messages from my closer friends saying they've heard other people, including some me and my partner's family members, calling me a bridezilla, saying we are being unreasonable, that this is ridiculous, that they don't want to go if I'm going to get all up in arms over clothing. My soon-to-be mother-in-law 59 female and sister-in-law 26 female is especially pissed. I reached out to them after their names were mentioned and they said I am ruining what is supposed to be happy day by demanding people dress up like idiots. They said everyone should be allowed to dress in what makes them feel comfortable and I am being very controlling. My partner says not to listen to them, but there are so many people saying it. I'm feeling pretty hurt by all this. I assumed people would react like this if I said everyone needed to go out and spend hundreds on costumes, but we went out of our way to include pictures and suggest as many very low-budget options as possible. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal, but now I am having second thoughts about the whole themed wedding idea. Am I the asshole at it too? We put in the invitation we don't expect or want people to buy us wedding gifts and would rather they keep their money for themselves or use it for their outfit. Edit. One of the low-budget options was things like a normal floral spring summer dress many people would already own, with the addition of like a flower crown, or it went up from there. For more masculine stuff, it was like a linen shirt with a piece of fabric tied around your waist or a belt. It's quite low-key, and I'm not super strict about it, just not things like a cocktail dress or a bodycon dress or a formal suit and tie. Also, just going to add, excluding sister-in-law and mother-in-law, our closest family and friends haven't complained and several people have said they are looking forward to it. It is more so cousins, aunts, uncles, or those sort of level friends. They have also not directly contacted us with their concerns and we are hearing it through the grapevine. Please leave your comments down below to any of today's stories. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.